Back in Pakistan, Esha Iqbal used to be a regional operating manager at Habib Bank Limited in Mirpur District, Azad Kashmir. Right now, she's studying in China Women University, majoring in women leadership and social development. Esha said being educated in China would enable her to better serve her country one day when she graduates. Let's share Esha's stories in this edition of When in China.
My name is Esha Iqbal and I am from Pakistan and Azad Kashmir region of Pakistan, and there is a small city in the near a dam called Mirpur, Azad Kashmir. Basically I'm from there, and currently I am a student in China Women University and I'm 31 years old. Back home I was working with a bank, and also I'm a co-founder of a youth development organization named as Youth Impact. My major is social work and our course is women leadership and social development. Why reason I choose China to come for my further education? I have multiple reasons for that. First, there was this opportunity and I took it because this program was really interesting. And then secondly, Pakistan and China has very long-lasting relationship. So I felt that it would be great to go to China. A third reason was that I wanted to learn Chinese language. And the fourth reason, it's a bit interesting that I really wanted to learn Kung Fu, that is called Gung Fu in China. Here I have been able to learn a little bit Chinese, but so far I have not been able to have any chance to interact with any Shaolin temple or any Kung Fu classes because of COVID-19. The world is changing so rapidly, and then the personal development, continuous personal development is very important to keep yourself updated according to what the world actually going around in the world. And secondly, if you develop yourself, only then you can contribute back to your society. So these two things are very important. So if I want to do something good, if I'm doing something good and I want to do something greater, I really need to learn according to that. So that's why I took a chance to come and pursue my master's in China.
When Esha first came to China, it was difficult for her to adapt because of the language barrier.
Interestingly, in China, the first culture shock as a foreigner that you face in China is the first day when you come here. Because when you come here, all of the sudden, all the noise is different. What people are saying you don't understand. All the billboards are different. You don't understand what's written. And all of the sudden you start feeling like a stupid person, even though you are not a stupid person, even though you have been a very smart person and intelligent person in your country. But the moment you land in China for the very first day, and when you have this inability to understand what other person is saying or what is written on this signboard, you feel stupid. And maybe that is a really simple thing, that it's a dustbin. It's a very common thing, or don't go there, or stop, or slow down. These are very simple instructions. But when you are unable to understand it, this is the very first cultural shock that I experienced. Besides that, I think the Chinese are very welcoming, and if you need help, they will go beyond everything and they will help you. So I have had really amazing experiences where I faced that they are really welcoming and they are extending their hand to help me best way possible for them. On the first day, I literally cried because I didn't had access to internet and I wanted to buy a SIM. And what they were telling, and that SIM was for some reason was not working in my mobile phone. And what they were telling me, I was unable to understand it, and I was unable to contact someone who I knew. So I felt this overwhelming sense, and I literally cried. But then, like, it was just one moment of weakness, but then they were able to help me, and it just passed. So that one sense when you are so vulnerable and you feel overwhelmed, for that I use that word, that you feel stupid.
In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic impacted many industries and restricted people's travels. Esha had to spend most of her time on campus.
COVID-19 was a difficult time. Like we were always inside our campus, and to be very honest, if you came last year this month, the whole campus was empty. You see this big building, it was empty, and we were only 19 students who were inside. But even then, I think I thrived. Like I was like at least making videos and interacting with people. I started talking to the staff who was there, like the guards and Baoji Aiye. But yeah, I started saying ni hao, and first they were like, who is this stranger saying ni hao to us? But then we became friends, and I remember in summers they used to sit outside and play cards. So I used to sit with them and play cards, and sometimes we were eating fruits together. So like, I think I'm kind of person who is not ready to feel vulnerable for a long time. I find ways to interact with people. I find ways to make friends, and I always find ways to find a solution for something. So I have not faced lots of trouble in China. In my religion, in our religious book, Quran, there is this expression that there is always ease with difficulty. Whenever there is a difficulty, there is ease as well. So, in life, when difficulty comes, it brings some kind of comfort as well with it. I released them on like Facebook back home, and I really received great feedback regarding that. The people said that we really were able, because when pandemic started in Wuhan, there were lots of students that were stuck there. So my videos become a kind of source of information for people back home, that how students are staying there and how universities are helping them, and its situation is not difficult because universities are taking care of us, and how government is handling the pandemic situation. So, and then my university got to know about those videos, and they shared here as well the video. One of radio in China, that is like maybe between China and Pakistan radio, they also published video in their Facebook page. And then I also, Phoenix News, they took interview regarding those videos as well. So yeah, it was like they somehow they went viral.
Esha Iqbal said that Chinese people are lovely, sweet, and friendly. She told us some impressive stories in China.
Our university has this amazing system of language buddies. Whenever international students come, they will provide you with 2 language buddies. And what's the role of language buddies? That they know English and they can speak in English, and they become an intermediary between you and other people. So I also had my language buddies with me. But for some reason, since it's also a learning process for language buddies as well, to be able to practice their language, improve it. So it was their first interaction, and it was my first interaction as well. So they were also confused, I was also confused, hence that was the result. Else, the lady on the supermarket, she was really helpful. Even she was so helpful, and she was able to understand my need and my moment of need, and she helped us a lot. I was traveling on a subway, and it's not a moment of help, it's moment of appreciation, and it always stays in my memory. I was traveling on the subway, and I have this habit that whenever an elderly person will walk in, I will step up from my seat and I will offer my seat to them. And we were traveling on the bus 13, and we had to go for like 10 stations maybe. So it was a long journey. So during the way, lots of people came, and I offered my seat to them. So there was this elderly uncle who was sitting there, and he made, China, you have like paper craft is very unique in China. So he took a paper, he made an aeroplane with that, and he gave it to me, and he said thank you. And I still have that as a souvenir in my room. In that moment, I felt, so grateful. I felt so humbled. I felt that, I'm part of this community. I'm part of China. I am Chinese because, someone saw something and they appreciated me with even very limited language. But that was the best moment, and I cannot explain how amazing the feeling it was.
Esha is also impressed by Chinese government's strenuous efforts of poverty eradication, which is an inspiration to the world.
We visited a local farm. We went there, and the idea was that young students can come to that farm and experience farming. And local people, they had built their restaurants, and they pick fresh vegetables out of that place, and they cook, and you can buy food, you can buy fruits from them, and then you can also visit the farm. They had different animals and different crops planted. So it was a really interesting, concept. Yes, these days rural tourism is very important. And for example, food. We eat food every day, but people don't understand that how food comes to their plate or how food comes in that packaging, especially children. So it's very important learning aspect from children to go to a place like that where they can learn that, there are seeds and you sow them in the ground using your own hands, and then the plants grow, and then you can dig out the carrots and just eat them fresh out of the land. So it's really important learning for young generation to have. And then it also gives urbanite class to have an experience of what the rural life is. So it is an interesting concept, an interesting business model as well. In fact, I wrote about it because I was so impressed by the idea, as I belong from a village, and I literally wrote a few ideas that how I can utilize this in my village to have like a hen coop, or have different animals like goats and all, and plant different crops that are they don't only provide food but also can provide finances, money. So money crops. So I really liked it, and thank you so much for mentioning. It just skipped from my mind, because the garden thenite was one concept that really had a long impression in my mind. Yeah. So we went to Kupeshoijan, and the concept of restaurants they had there, you go there and the people have restaurants within their homes, and they will cook food for you, and you can eat there and then pay them. And that's like local people are generating an income from a place that has been designed by the government. So that's also a really interesting concept, and also it really helps to promote rural tourism as well, and it really helps to strengthen the local community. So that's also an interesting concept, and I really liked it as well. I want this relationship between me and China to continue, but I came here, I learned so much, and the best benefit I can get from this education is that I go back and I can transfer what I learned to my people. So this is the best way that I can utilize this learning. If I only keep this learning to myself, I will be a miser. So I would like to go back and help others with my education. So, and then I would like to come back for my future studies for PhD in future, because I really want to learn Chinese.
Yes. Oh, I didn't knew this.